He didn't even realize he was crying until the tears splashed onto the back of his trembling hand. This was Daniel Hart, the city's youngest tech CEO. A man praised in magazines for his unbreakable discipline. Yet here he was, hunched over on a cold park bench, the weight of the world pressing down on him. His suit was immaculate, his watch worth more than a car, but none of it mattered. Not when his mother's empty hospital bed kept replaying in his mind. It had been 3 days since she passed. 3 days of hollow condolences and pretending to be strong. He just couldn't do it anymore. So he came here, to the park where his mother used to bring him as a child. To the very bench where she'd feed pigeons and tease him for being too serious. Now, the silence was unbearable. Daniel pressed his palms to his eyes, his breath shaking, and then a tiny voice cut through the quiet. "Don't cry, mister." Daniel froze and looked up. A little boy with messy brown hair and big soft eyes stood before him, holding a juice box. He couldn't have been older than 6. "You can borrow my mom if you need one," the boy said simply, as if offering a toy. "She gives really good hugs. It's the best in the world." The world seemed to stop. Before Daniel could react, the boy plopped down beside him, swinging his legs. "My name's Toby. What's yours?" "I'm Daniel. That's a nice name. My mom says names are important because they make you feel wanted." Wanted. When was the last time he felt that? Just then, a woman jogging toward them slowed to a stop, her cheeks rosy from the cold air. Her eyes widened in embarrassment. "Toby, sweetheart, you can't just run off." Like she paused, her expression softening as she saw the undeniable sadness on Daniel's face. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope he wasn't bothering you." "He wasn't," Daniel managed. "He was actually trying to help." The woman knelt in front of her son. "Toby, honey, you can't just tell strangers they can borrow me. Why not?" "He's sad," Toby said matter-of-factly. "You always help sad people?" The woman gave Daniel an apologetic yet warm look. "Not wrong," Daniel murmured, almost a whisper. "I am sad." She sat down on his other side. "Do you want to talk about it?" He hesitated. Didn't talk about his feelings, not to anyone. But her gentle, motherly tone unlocked something he'd kept sealed away for years. "My mom passed away," he said quietly. Toby immediately scooted closer and took Daniel's hand, squeezing it with his tiny fingers. "That's why you can borrow my mom," he repeated, as if it fixed everything. The woman's eyes filled with empathy. "I'm so sorry. Losing a parent. It changes everything." Daniel nodded, his voice cracking. "She was all I had growing up. And now, I don't know how to be without her." Toby leaned against him, resting his small head on Daniel's arm. The warmth almost shattered him. The woman finally said, "My name is Emily." And Toby wasn't wrong. "I do give good hugs, if you need one." Daniel almost refused out of habit, but he hadn't been hugged since the hospital, so he nodded. Emily wrapped her arms around him gently. Toby hugged him from the other side. Daniel finally let himself break. He sobbed openly, not as a CEO, but as a son who missed his mother. Emily didn't rush him. She just held him until the storm inside him quieted. After that day, Daniel kept returning to the park. Toby would run to him with excitement, and Emily would offer quiet companionship and coffee. He learned she was a nurse, working 2 jobs to raise Toby in their small apartment. Their life was simple, but filled with a love he found himself craving. One afternoon, Toby tugged on his sleeve. "Are you still sad?" Daniel smiled faintly. "Sometimes it's okay," Toby said wisely. "Mom says sadness is just love. You don't know where to put." Daniel looked at Emily, who blushed, but met his gaze. "I think spending time with you too gives me somewhere to put it," he murmured. But then one morning, they weren't there. Daniel waited, panic rising, before rushing to their apartment. Emily opened the door, pale and dizzy. "I'm fine," she whispered. "Just exhausted. I worked a double shift, and then Toby got sick." Behind her, Toby lay on the couch, flushed with fever. Daniel didn't think he acted. "Let me help," he said, gently carrying Toby to his car. "You helped me when I was broken." He rushed them to a clinic and stayed until Toby's fever broke. Later, Emily watched him, tears in her eyes. "You didn't have to do all this." Daniel looked at her with raw honesty. "I did, Because you gave me something when I had nothing left. What did I give you? She asked. A reason to feel alive again, he said softly. And now I want to give something back. To both of you. Weeks turned into a comfortable rhythm. One evening, as they sat on their bench, Toby climbed between them. Daniel, can you be here forever? He asked. You make Mom smile? You don't cry anymore? Daniel's breath hitched. He took Emily's hand. I'd like that, he said, looking at her. I'd like to stay. For both of you. Emily leaned her head against his shoulder as Toby wrapped his little arms around them both. I thought I lost my family, Daniel whispered. But maybe I was meant to find a new one. Family isn't always who you're born to. Sometimes it's the people who sit with you on a cold park bench, offer a hug when your world falls apart, and see your tears and decide to stay anyway.